Yeah.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Zach Young and I'm joined by the Kaiju Commander to my Captain Comics, Tanner Bays as always.
Hello and good morning to the people of the nation. I am your Kaiju Commander, Tanner Bays, coming at you live and in studio.
Oh, he's getting close to the mic.
Oh, I'm getting closer.
Lover, letting you know what's about to happen next.
Yes. Hot take of the week. Reheated hamburger helper. A-tier food. Regular hamburger helper, straight out the pan. C+ going to B-.
And this is the Kaiju and Comics podcast where we talk about anything else.
Like my new cooking show that'll be on the Food Network. No, I'm kidding.
Don't worry, Techie's still on the other side. It's fine.
Is he?
Physically.
Yeah. Right.
We got you. Do we have more chit-chat that isn't hamburger helper based?
I'm sorry. That shit was sneaking up on me. Any hamburger helper now, honestly, I wouldn't have any conversations if it wasn't based on hamburger helper.
I actually agree with you that it's better reheated.
It is.
It has a better consistency to it.
Oh my gosh, somebody with a brain. Finally, I found one. Who would have known I've been doing a podcast with him? Yeah, so let's hop into it.
We got
ready to go. I'm raring to go.
We got a couple headlines this morning, this actual morning.
Oh.
Wait, I'm waiting.
Oh, I forgot to tell everybody.
Okay.
I'm getting noted in from the studio, backstage. Medical update.
I'm not animating that again. If anything, I will slot in the video from last week in here to make. You know what? I'm going to do that right now.
Update. I have a medical update. Medical update. My mouth doesn't hurt anymore. So, my mouth doesn't hurt. They put... So, okay. First off, I went and got the root canal.
Yes. I remember this.
I didn't know I was going to be awake. I was awake the entire time.
Yes.
They had a flamethrower in the dentist office. They were in my mouth for like an hour. They're doing, and then I actually was making jokes with the dentist. She was fantastic. I would absolutely recommend everybody go see her. She cracked me up. One time I opened my eyes because they were like working and like stuff was hitting my face. I'm like, I don't want a chunk of my tooth to hit me in the face, or in my eye. So I closed my eyes and I open up and I just see her taking these long needles out of my mouth, like 7 of them. I'm like, how did they fit all that in one tooth? Then she's like, "Oh, talk to the nurse." I didn't catch the nurse's name, but she was like, "Talk to her. You see what's going on. I'm gonna go do this." And I'm like, kind of just like laying there talking to her, open my eyes, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a flash. I'm like, "What was that?" I was like, maybe it was a light. And then I see it again, and I'm like, "Huh?" And I look at the nurse, and the nurse kind of like gives it. You know when somebody gives you those big eyes, are like. And I look over, and there's a open flame about 3 feet in the air, and she's just got this stuff melting over. I'm like, and I have this bandage in my mouth, so I can't speak, and I'm like,
yeah, because they have to heat up the.
I was like, what is going on? It was a mess, but it went fine. I sounded like the cat from Looney Tunes. What's that, Sylvester? For like 3 hours afterwards, which was fun. I also had to go to the bank right afterwards and talk to a teller. I said, I was like trying to tell her, I'm going to do my best. I just got a root canal. I'm trying to speak to you. And everybody was laughing at me. And I didn't really appreciate it because I was trying to get in my bank account. But it was a good day. My mouth no longer hurts. I have to go get a crown on it. I have a couple other root canals I got to get done. But they don't hurt. So I'll be back to no pain soon enough.
Okay.
That's been your medical update with the Dr. Bays.
It's not a doctor in any way.
I am. I'm a hamburger helpinologist.
Helpinologist. Wow. All right.
That's what I do.
So we got headlines today.
Headlines.
This is the big headline. Now, this is my favorite thing because I saw the news of it online first. I saw it on Twitter. And then, I looked at the comic panels and I read it. And I was like, that's nice. And I kept scrolling. And then Dane from the Pop Sugar podcast messaged me the news. And I was just like, oh. For some reason, when I read the panels, it didn't register to me that that's what was happening. But anyway, Tim Drake is now bi in DC canon. It's official. He has came out. The comic panel was like a classic. It was him and this man Bernard, who seems like a nice kid. I don't know about the name Bernard.
I've never met a Bernard I like.
Yeah, like I don't know about the name Bernard.
But... that's a lie. Bernard King. He's pretty alright.
Okay. But I had read the panels, and it was like the classic like hero's date gets interrupted by something, and I just for some reason my brain, it just didn't click in my brain, just didn't understand it. And then Dane texted me telling me, I was like, oh, that's really cool.
That is what happened.
I'm into that. I now like Tim Drake a lot more. I already did like Tim Drake, but now I want more for him.
Yes. We love our king.
He's now tied for my second favorite Robin.
And who's your third?
Who's he tied with?
No, who's third?
Who's last place? Jason Todd.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really like Jason Todd that much.
He has two names that I dislike immensely, but the character I don't dislike.
I think it's a good character. None of the Robins are inherently bad characters, but as far as like ones that I like and ones I don't like, I'm not that big on Jason Todd. Jason Todd doesn't attract me to a comic book.
I would say Todd, definitely no. I don't know a Todd that I like.
Okay.
Never met one. If
Jasons?
You know me and your name is Todd, you now know how I feel about you.
Anything about the name Jason?
Too many movies. But the sleeping bag scene is elite. If you know, you know.
Quality content.
No, it's my middle name.
Should we throw out the other ones? What about Damien's?
Okay, so Damien's all right. I know... So I'm diabetic, and I know a Damien who is also diabetic, so I share that brotherhood with him.
Okay.
But, that being said, I don't really know... Damien is too close to Darian, and it makes me get confused. So, like, say if Darian and there were a Damien in the room, I would be worried that if I said Damien might actually attempt to talk to me. Damien, chill. I'm obviously not trying to talk to you. I started with a R. Where you get the out of M? Come on now. Couldn't be me. But, no, Damien's okay.
All right, then we got, how do you feel about Dick?
Richard Grayson, my favorite man.
That's not what I asked. I asked, how do you feel about Dick?
I'm a proprietor of the name Richard. There's plenty of Richards that I like. There's Richard Sherman, Richard Seymour, Richard. I'm sure there's a Richard that I know. That also being said, I used to have a very bad manager at a box store that was named Rich, and I didn't like him.
Okay.
But
not down for that Richie Rich.
Oh, Richie Rich. There you go. Dick Ritchie. Yeah. I still think, what are they all named again?
Robin?
Yeah. Yes, they're all Robins. Well, the best Robin is Jarro, so I really don't know why we're arguing about this. Nightwing wishes he could be Jarro.
Bonus round. Thoughts on Dukes? He's not really a Robin, but he's kind
Duke
of
Thomas?
Just Dukes in general. Obviously, I'm referencing Duke Thomas. But...
Okay, so Duke, I love the Blue Devils.
Okay.
Also, Duke reminds me of every trope of every Letterman jacket wearing jock guy, but it's never the jock guy that is the asshole. It's the one friend in the group of jocks that is friendly towards the nerds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then by the end of the movie, either he dies in a good sacrifice, or he ends up becoming their friends and leaving the other dickheads to die. So Duke gets an A+ rating from me.
All right. Moving on, we got some Marvelness news. You have an update on Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi.
I'm not going to try to act like I know how to say anything. So.
It was part of a promotional thing, that part of the trailer. It's him talking to someone about how his name is pronounced. So I figured I'd throw that in there.
I didn't watch it, so congratulations on exposing me.
It's going to be exclusively in theaters for 45 days.
Okay, so what's the regular cycle for a movie?
So, longer than that. For some reason, I want to say 90. I might be wrong on 90.
90. I don't.
A lot of times it depends.
I
on
don't
the,
think a movie's in the theater for a quarter of a year.
A lot of times it depends on the success of the movie. Endgame
Well, yeah,
and like
facts.
Endgame definitely was.
Yeah, well, it's also
But-
the most successful one. I don't know.
But what
the
normally movies have a contract for the theater has a contract for the movie that I believe was commonly 90 days before, and that was that they have exclusive rights to the movie for 90 days. They don't have to show it for all the 90 days, but because like obviously if it's not,
it's the only
successful,
place you're going to see it is there for 90 days. Okay.
If it's not successful, they're not going to show it. They're going to choose something. They're going to add another theater to Endgame instead of showing another showing of whatever DC movie was out at that time. Shazam. Oh, but Shazam was good. Not the point. You get what I'm saying. Now, because of how the theaters have been going and because of going out on streaming, companies have been signing different deals, and with Shang-Chi, it's been revealed it will be exclusively in theaters for 45 days. It's not going to Disney Plus Premier Access, at least not when it releases. It's it's said, like the same person, which I believe was Feige, but it might have just been a higher up at Disney, that said that it's going to theaters for 45 days, said that they're using this as a test. The lead actor of Shang-Chi did not appreciate that verbiage, but it's fine. That it will be going somewhere else after the 45 days. They didn't specify what. So we don't know if that's just like video on demand stuff to be able to buy it or rent it, whether it's Premier Access on Disney Plus, whether it's regular Disney Plus. We don't know. They didn't tell us. But it will be exclusively in theaters for 45 days. I assume we'll see it.
Yeah, we're going to see
week.
it. Yeah, we're going to see it in the first couple of days.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's something.
So we have 2 leaks. Do you want the DC leak or the Marvel leak first?
I want the DC leak, so when I get the Marvel leak, I'll be more excited.
Okay. So, what do you know about the Ayer cut?
The Ayer cut.
So
this sounds. That's the original cut of the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Okay. The original one, the one with Will Smith,
the
right?
The 2016 Suicide Squad. In a similar vein to the Snyder cut, we've been fans of DC. Similar-esque to the Snyder cult, have been asking for a release of the Ayer cut. Pretty much everyone has been like, no. Like, even the stars of the movie, like Margot Robbie was asked about it on the set of the premiere of the Suicide Squad, and she was just like, just didn't care about it. We have a script leak. Oh my god, is it bad?
Is it bad?
It very is bad. Choice moments that I remember off the top of my head. I didn't read all of it, but I read some of the screenshots that Darian from the Pop Stricker podcast sent me because he was a big Ayer cut shill. I said what I said. He donated money for the Snyder cut. I said what I said. One of them was, you know that scene where Batman captures Deadshot?
Yeah.
Originally, that scene was supposed to play out that Will Smith's character was supposed to say, really in front of my kid, and Ben Affleck's Batman was supposed to respond, take a good look at her. Next time you see her, she's going to be gray. There is one scene that I'll admit I was probably a bit more into, and it's a redo of the club scene where Joker's a bit more asshole-ish in the way that he treats Harley, which, whatever, source material. But it's all admittedly worse versions of what we got on screen, which is, saying something.
Yeah, because that movie really wasn't good.
Yeah, I'm not looking up the script things for it.
Yeah,
it's out. It seems like that movement has died because it sounds like it isn't that good of a movie. But, we have the Suicide Squad, so.
Because I think the difference between the two, the Justice League and the Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, looked and felt like a finished film. But if you watch Justice League, it feels like there's things just not there.
Yeah.
There's just, it's very... And, I don't know how to explain it, because, I'm not a film, a professional. But, when I watched Justice League, I felt like I had missed a part of the movie, and I watched the entire thing.
Yeah, and you also, with Justice League, another director came in and took over the project and did things. Suicide Squad, Ayer was part of it until the end. Yeah. There was studio involvement. There's always studio involvement. And
I heard, apparently the studio involvement was, crazy heavy, though.
Yeah.
But I guess it was probably for the best.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds on brand with WB at the time, even now, to be heavily involved, from what we know. And Snyder Cut was also the next chapter in what we've already undertaken. Not like a debut film of a thing. But that's fine. We got a Marvel leak. I cannot show this on camera. I can. but every single person that showed it on some sort of social media has been viciously attacked by Marvel's fleet of lawyers. So we're not showing it.
So
it's available if you can find it. We have a leak for Moon Knight.
What the suit? Or?
The suit.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
I'll be fine with waiting until they show something official.
So you don't want to say it? I do have it.
If you have it, yeah,
I
I'll
have
say
it on my phone. I'm just not going to put it on camera. I don't know if that's going to be his only suit, if that's going to be a final suit, and because you know how Moon Knight is. That is also in line with some concept art that we have from the show. So it's a decently believable leak that this is supposed to be his suit.
I'm going to hope it's just because of what I'm looking at here. And maybe it's just a shot, but it looks really heavily CG to me. Is that wild? Or am I just blind?
There's definitely some CG in that, at the very least, because his eyes are glowing.
Yeah, I understand. I was like, I don't know.
I don't know for a fact.
I just don't like looking at shit. Let me see the finished product. I don't need to be up on everything.
I have no big judge on it because it also looks like he doesn't have a cape, and I assume Moon Knight would have a cape. I also would assume that you would CG the cape. Because that's the easiest way to do capes.
Moon Knight doesn't need a cape.
Moon Knight needs a cape. Depending on what you're having him
my
do.
favorite suit of Moon Knight is Mr. Knight.
So I agree.
So that's like my favorite. So.
I agree with that. Like, again, my favorite single issue Moon Knight comic, you and I were talking about this earlier, is a Mr. Knight one. But, like, when you have the scenes of him, like, dropping down from the drone and coming at someone, you need that cape coming across him with that crescent thing. That's why I said, it's like, this could only be one of his suits, and we could be doing a suit flop thing.
That's the one thing I want from the show. I just want one Mr. Knight thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to wait for a season 2 to get a Mr. Knight. I just give me a little something, throwaway thing. It's fine.
Yeah, because it's one of his personalities.
Yeah, I love it.
One of the things that it goes. Do you have any other news before I move on to the last thing?
Do I have any news? I don't believe I do. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we're going to move on to Zach's wrestling headline. Now, we've been focusing the past few weeks. It's been a big focus on the WWE releases and the fate of NXT and all that I haven't talked about this. This week hasn't been light on the NXT news, but it's all been stuff that I've pretty much said before. It's just more details on the restructuring, so I'm finally going to talk about this.
Okay.
Because this doesn't have anything to do with WWE. It has everything to do with AEW, their competitor. We're coming up on a bunch of events in Chicago, including All Out and an episode of AEW Rampage, which is like it's a special network event for them every time it pops up. Usually there's some big ticket matches, maybe a title match or two. It's not a pay-per-view, though. It happens on primetime TV on Saturdays.
There you go.
These all happened in Chicago, and the rumors dropped, the reports were said, no one believed them, then AEW went and had a whole episode where they referenced this guy, so it's believed that during one of those Chicago shows, CM Punk will be making his AEW debut.
I'm so happy. That genuinely has made my day better. Oh my gosh. This is just what I want.
The reports came out, and no one believed it, because why would you? And then Tony Khan and all of his boys sent a whole episode of Dynamite referencing and homaging Punk the whole episode. Just reworded versions of his promos, moves, his special moves, all that kind of stuff. And it's at the point to where, like, if he's not signed with your company, you're insane. Like, why would you go through all that if he wasn't? So it sounds like that he is. He's not the only insanely popular ex-WWE superstar that's going to AEW, because it's also been reported that Daniel Bryan has signed with AEW.
I think, I saw that headline. I saw both.
That isn't secret. Like it is secret, but it isn't secret. He left WWE last spring in a very good match. He had a loser leaves WWE match with loser leaves WWE match with Roman Reigns to get one last shot at his Universal Championship, and he lost, so he left, and we just kind of assumed he'd re-sign because he's in good standing with the company. But no, he'd let his contract run out, and he's signed with AEW. He was supposed to make his debut by now, but rumors are saying that Punk's whole thing has thrown a wrench into the works with that they're restructuring that to make sense with it. All Out is very soon. It's by the end of the month. I don't know the official date. It's probably on the screen.
Just keep the point. Just let AEW keep doing it. If if WWE wants to keep cutting all these people, cutting all this talent, and they think I don't know whether they feel like they don't need them. The budget cuts thing, I think, is absolute bullshit. Let AEW, let them, they're obviously figuring it out.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that's going to make your product as good as WWE, is getting the talent that feels wasted by the other company. There's nothing is a better motivator than like vengeance, getting back at somebody.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
And this isn't even that, like, you can say Punk was a little misguided and wasted, but Daniel Bryan sure wasn't his past few years on the roster. The fact that those two names are ready to sign on the dotted line with AEW says a lot. And maybe this does still feel the ire of TNA from like a decade ago. I don't know. I didn't watch TNA. I still don't watch TNA. But it's just a lot, you know? Like, Punk is obviously a name that he's been retired for almost 10 years now, I think. It's been a while. And he was doing in-ring training for the Heel Show on Starz, starring Stephen Amell, which maybe I'll figure out a way to watch that. We'll see. And they said that it looked like he never missed a step in the ring, that he's probably been training by himself. And I mean, he's been doing UFC training here and there.
But I would say there's really, this is going to be rough. There's really no reason for Punk to be retired.
He retired because at the time it was only WWE at the top. He didn't want to work for WWE anymore, and he was, in a similar vein to Braun Strowman, he didn't go around blowing his money as fast as he made it. He was pretty much set for life in the financial sense.
Yeah, but physically, there's no reason for CM Punk to be retired.
Like, I believe he just entered his 40s, so we're getting to that point now, but he could still have 5 to 10 years of high octane.
How old is Edge?
In his 40s.
He had serious, like, had, what did you say? What was it? Is it neck?
His neck, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, Punk could put in a shift.
Yeah.
Especially, this is all I'm saying. If LeBron James can put $1 million in his body a year and still be a top 3 player in the NBA at the age of, I want to say he's 38, and basketball players really start to really slow down at the age of 35, 34, modern medicine is nuts.
Yeah, there's nothing saying you can't. Taker was at the top of his game until he was in his 50s. Like,
what a legend.
You can do it. Like, there's nothing saying that you can't. John Cena's in his 40s and he is still at the top of his game.
Like he's fighting intergalactic conquerors.
You are, I have to give out the invites. You are invited to my house to watch SummerSlam if you want to watch Reigns versus Cena.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I got to send the invite to Dane and Darian too.
So you should let me know what day it is, and I will do my. Is it a Sunday or a Saturday?
It's a Saturday.
Thank God, because those are my short days at work, so I will be able to make it.
They change it. Normally it's Sunday, but it's Saturday.
Sunday, yeah, these Sundays that she's got me back on these overnights.
Yeah, but that's what I have for wrestling news. A lot of exciting stuff going on, and it's. Again, to note, all that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan stuff has been running side by side with all the WWE releases, so it's been a very pro AEW environment lately. If you can understand why.
Yes, sir.
But I'm probably going to be reporting on the fate of NXT next week.
That'll be rough.
Yeah, but it's fine.
We'll see. We can only hope for the best, and it just progressively keeps getting worse and worse.
But better.
So, huh?
Like worse on one side, but better on the other side.
What do you mean better?
AEW needs to keep going.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the WWE we feel like is getting worse, but we just got to keep hoping that it'll get better. That this actually was going to make sense at the end, and they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I did see. I'll add this in here real quick because it is referenced something to where you had said. I think it was Meltzer. It was either Meltzer or it was a former higher up in WWE. Theorized that all of this is actually Vince trying to prove a point to Stephanie McMahon. That he's the end all be all in the company, not her husband. So he's pillaging her husband's baby, which is I hate you, Vince McMahon, so much if that's the case.
I'm telling you, it's like I think this is a Steppian thing. I really do. I really think this dude is like trying to mess this shit up, but I don't know how the business side of wrestling works.
Yeah.
I haven't done it for 50 years like he has, so he might actually have a vision, but I've also saw him fight God in the ring and call Booker T the N-word on live television. So, like, I don't know if
Listen,
this guy
his
is...
match against God did numbers. What are you talking about? I have no defense for the other thing. That's
Yeah. I was going to say, that one's a
rough.
little indefensible.
Yeah, I got nothing for that. That happened.
All right.
But no, he didn't call Booker that. He called Cena that, and then Booker just happened to be standing by. That's what happened. If that makes it any worse.
Oh, I think it might.
Just want to point that out. It was played for laughs. He called Cena it, then walked away, and then it shifted to Booker, who went, "Tell me he did not just say that." So I don't want to hear any, Vince didn't think it was bad. No. He played it for a joke.
Couldn't be me.
That wasn't me. So.
Yeah.
All right, that's all the news I got. You got any news?
I do not have any news.
I know I already asked you that, but it feels wrong if I don't end it with that. So.
Yeah.
We got the contente consumption. Who's going first? You going first? I'm going first.
Who wants to go first?
I don't know. We know what each other have.
Yes, we do. I privied you to this knowledge earlier this morning.
Yes, as I did the same as I was getting dressed.
Yes, I was also getting dressed.
Don't worry, it wasn't video chat.
I had no pants. This week I cover the Transformers trilogy. So, for those of you who may know, I am a big Transformers fan. I bring it up in most conversations it does not belong in, and I don't know why. Because, I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. I didn't watch Transformers as a kid.
I didn't either.
But I would watch it every once in a while. Like Transformers Prime, I remember was on one of the channels. I watched that. I remember the other little CG Transformers that was on. And I did watch all of Beast Wars when I was a kid. But I was never really big into Transformers. And then as I got a little bit older, like 13, 14, I got the original Transformers movie. The cartoon one.
The one where Optimus dies?
Yes, right in the beginning. I love that movie. That might be like top 3 animated movies for me.
You know the story of that movie, right?
Yes, I watched it. What?
No, like the background story of that movie, not the...
What do you mean the background story?
Like why the movie was made and the purposes behind...
Oh, no, I have no idea. I just really liked the movie.
So the Transformers movie was originally created to be made, the original one that you're talking about, when G.I. Joe was getting a movie. And the plan for the G.I. Joe movie was to kill off all the characters and put in a new wave of characters so that we have a new wave of toys to sell. So they decided, while we're making this, they would do the same thing with Transformers. Then the Transformers movie aired first. All the kids who grew up watching and were in love with Optimus Prime and stuff cried their eyes out, so they canceled the G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah, Optimus dying in the beginning kind of sucked, but it was like all right. And then they give it to Ultra Magnus, who I absolutely love. I love Ultra Magnus. Yeah. I just think he looks sick. And then Galvatron is really cool. And Unicron goes off. The Devastator scene is really cool. Just that whole movie I think is really good. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, the purpose of it,
the purpose sucks, but the film is actually...
The purpose was to get
film.
rid of these characters and introduce new characters so we can sell toys of those new characters because they probably already have toys of the old characters.
Yeah.
But I think a kid would probably buy a second Optimus Prime toy. It's just my thoughts. Yeah. I could be wrong. We're still selling Optimus Prime toys.
Yeah, he's in there strong.
I'm not going to act like I don't get it. He's cool.
Yes, he is. So
what trilogy are you
It is a trilogy. It's come out. It's 3 collections, technically 3 seasons, but they're all different. It's I'm not gonna remember the first one is War for Cybertron, Transformers War for Cybertron. Then I think the second one is Rise, Transformers Rise. And I don't remember the last one, but there are 3 different things on Netflix.
Okay, I'll look at it.
I would say, yeah.
We don't have a techie here.
Yeah, Techie is predisposed at the moment. I believe he is eating. At least that's what he said to us.
I mean, I'm not here to theorize on what he's eating, but we'll just leave it there.
I can tell you it is not Hamburger Helper that has been reheated.
Definitely. He's not good enough for that.
Give me the names here, buddy.
I have...
Kingdom's the last one.
Okay, yeah, because they all have...
Yeah.
Earthrise is the second
Earthrise.
one.
Okay,
is
yeah.
the second one. They all have the War of Cybertron name on them.
Oh, what was the first one then?
It was just the first one was just War for Cybertron, but they all like have that branding to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you're able to tell which ones they are on top of all the other Transformer stuff on Netflix.
Yes, and okay. So I went into this knowing Transformers, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go into this. Immediately, if you are a Transformers purist, I don't think you'll like it because it's not the Optimus Prime. A different person takes up Optimus Prime, and I like it. I get tired of I don't get tired of the same thing, but it's like I've heard that Optimus. I wanted a different Optimus, and this seems. I'm gonna do a little brain test with you, I guess.
Okay.
When you hear Optimus's voice, what does that make you feel?
How does it make me feel?
Yes. How do you perceive Optimus when you hear his voice?
I perceive him as like strong, certain commander. Like
yes. This guy, that's exactly what I wanted.
Okay.
Because regular Optimus, the guy who always does Optimus, sounds so sure and he's battle hardened and he's knows what he's doing. This Optimus Prime is almost naive. Because he's like, he's still been doing it for a long time, but he's so set in his goal, or he doesn't just stop to think and like really weigh it out. He's like, I'm doing this for this cause, so I'm going to do it this way. The show is very good at showing you that Optimus and Megatron are very, very similar and have chosen two different paths. And then Megatron will always be the villain, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you really look into it, they both kind of make the decisions based off of, I'm doing this because I'm an Autobot, I'm doing this because I'm a Decepticon, and they don't really think too much about the repercussions. It's, I'm doing this for Cybertron, I'm doing this to save our people, when really you're kind of just tearing the people apart. If Optimus would just give in to Megatron, sure, being under Decepticon rule might be bad, but is it going to be worse than continuing to make everybody fight each other where you could possibly go extinct? Like, the show is very good at that. The show is not I don't want to say it's not a kid's show. I'm going to give spoilers because I have to.
Yeah.
Ultra Magnus gets his chest blown through. Ultra Magnus gives up in the first episode. He talks with Optimus and he's like, hey, we really should just sign this treaty. We're going to go extinct. We're running out of energon. Everybody's going to die if we don't just give in. We'll talk to Megatron. If we both go there and try to talk to him, it'll work. We were brothers for years. So Ultra Magnus goes off on his own because Optimus is like, no, I'm an Autobot. Yeah. And he goes and he gets captured, whatever. And then Ultra Magnus doesn't give up the location of the Autobots like Megatron wants him to. They go to this thing. And then it lets out this code, what do you call that? Lets out this secret code that basically makes Bumblebee relevant. Because Bumblebee starts as not an Autobot in this. He's just a regular scrapper.
Okay.
Finding energon for people, getting paid, stuff like that. And then this Alpha Trion code, I think it is, goes into him and he basically turns into the Bumblebee we kind of know. And Megatron just blows a hole right through Ultra Magnus right in front of the screen. Like, the way they show the carnage on the Transformers in the show is very good because it almost feels, I don't want to say feels real, but you actually feel it. It's not like when in the old shows where they get shot, and they're down. Like, people are losing limbs. Like, there are Autobots and Decepticons with like no legs, like no arms, like half their heads gone. Like, we actually get to see the carnage of what this stuff really does, and it really, if you're not prepared for it, it'll mess with you a little bit. And like, I wasn't ready to watch just like a dude be there talking and then an Autobot sniper just take his head clean off. Like, I wasn't ready for that. These things happen. It's very, very good. Jetfire is in it. We get a lot of the classic Transformers in it. We get to see a lot of the different Transformers have different powers. There's like Mirage. He can cloud everybody in stealth and stuff like that. But the first season takes place on Cybertron. We're trying to find the Allspark. The Allspark is not known. Like, the Allspark is a myth. Nobody actually thinks it exists. And the whole season is, this thing actually exists. We might be able to use this. So it's them trying to get it, whatever. And we get to near the end of the season where they're finally finding it. And the Decepticons aren't finding it. It's going to be the Autobots that find it. And halfway through the season, Jetfire starts as a Decepticon. He defects to being an Autobot. Shockwave? Shockwave, the scientist. He's all purple. He has like the rectangle head. He's got the green eye.
Yeah.
He figures out there's a way to get rid of the Autobots without getting the Allspark. They have Ultra Magnus's dead body hooked up, and they're going to inject a virus through the Autobot code, and it's going to go through and kill everybody. It'll turn all the Transformers that aren't Decepticon code off, and they'll rewire them and turn them into Decepticons manually.
Okay.
But the thing is, almost all of Cybertron is run off of Autobot code. So if he does this, he's going to destroy all the structures and everything. And it's like, he goes to Megatron with it at say episode 6 or 7. And I think there's 10 episodes. And you can see the slow of Megatron thinks about it more, and then eventually he's like, just go ahead and do it. And it's rough. It's really rough. Basically, the end of the first season is they set that off. That's happening. They're trying to get off of Cybertron, because the thing is, if I get the Allspark off of Cybertron, it keeps it away from Megatron. So they get the Ark. They go through a space bridge that they found in the first episode, and they take off of Cybertron with the Allspark, and it ends. And it's just a couple of the other main Autobots stay back, like Jetfire. What?
So does Jetfire? Does he still go down because he was initially coded as Decepticon?
You can get switched.
When you switch, do you get fully recoded, or do you?
They don't. I don't. They may have went over that. You got to remember. I think it was a.
If it doesn't pop up again throughout the trilogy, then it
doesn't.
Okay.
Be getting recoded, but a year and a half ago was when the first one came out, and I watched it then. But
it's one of those things where if it didn't pop up, it probably was just
It was just, this is going to be a thing to be a doomsday type of John. But
sorry, I did not sleep well last night.
It's okay. And then you get Earthrise. Earthrise is just going through space, dealing with things, trying to find where the Allspark went. It's a shorter season, and it's definitely the worst of the 3. But you get a couple of neat things. We get a lot more. We get there actually is a fantastic scene. Actually, I might take this back. Season 2 has the best scene of the whole show. There's a point that now that Optimus is gone, Decepticons kind of just rule everything, and there's a very, very, very small Autobot faction left. It's basically just the main characters and a couple of other guys from the first season that were left behind. And Megatron is walking through this sector, talking to the head leader of the sector. It's like a factory sector, trying to talk to him this is what we do. This is how we get our stuff done. I know we're putting up all right numbers. We're really trying to get it through. We absolutely love you. Everybody loves Megatron. And then Megatron goes through, all right, that's great. All right. Thank you for having me. And he goes, and Soundwave is talking to him because they need the power to help make this ship to go after Optimus. And he's like, shut down Sector 12. And you just see the sector behind him he just left get shut down. And if there's no power in your sector, you're dead. There's no way for you to live. You may be able to escape, but it's very difficult. So Megatron is effectively destroying Cybertron to fuel his rage to go find Optimus. Eventually, they make the ship and they leave. And they powered the ship off of captured they use the energon of captured people. First it was just Autobots. Then the Autobot faction we find is like freeing these camps, and now it's just Decepticons are in the camps. Like they're just taking people, whoever they can, to like feed the programming and all kinds of stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Basically, it's when we're on Cybertron, we're seeing that how it's slowly, without the Allspark, it's slowly falling apart, and the leadership is so bad that they're actually just genociding themselves. And it's like, it really doesn't put a good feeling ever. When you're on Cybertron, you're never like excited to be that we're back and watching this. It's always really depressing, but it's so good the way that they do it. And Shockwave is effectively their villain because Megatron's kind of doing his own thing, or he's off on the ship chasing after he leaves on the ship. And Shockwave is just this evil scientist given complete reign over the planet, and it's horrible. Like has absolutely no morals, and people just die and die and die and die, and it's really bad.
And die.
Yeah. So get to the point you're in space. Megatron has found Optimus Prime. They go all this way. They end up going to the Dead universe, which I don't know anything about, but it was a place where if you could get banished there, you never come back, all this stuff. And then, to my surprise, Galvatron showed up. I was like, huh? Galvatron was trying to get Megatron to kill Optimus Prime. It was showing him stuff from the future, all kinds of stuff, and they're fighting. And then Galvatron gets pulled back by Unicron. We watch, and then Optimus Prime gets away back to where he needs to be, to where the Allspark is, and basically they end the season by crashing into Earth.
I would hope so.
It's
called Earthrise. I would hope that we end up on Earth
at some point. And we get nothing on Earth in the second season. It's all on the ship, and then we land on Earth. The third season, I was completely shocked by this third season because I didn't think they were going to do this. I thought this was going to be like, we're going to see humans in the... No, it was prehistoric.
Oh, dinosaur.
Yes. So if you know Transformers, you know who's on Earth in prehistoric times. And they did Beast Wars. All of the Beast War characters were there, and we figure out they time traveled. They went...
Oh, no.
But it wasn't done bad. Isn't that amazing? Because they went into the Dead universe and they came back out, they went centuries and centuries into the future. So there's like the Megatron of Beast Wars and the Optimus Prime of those shows are in this. So it's like Optimus Primal and then Megatron. He just is called Megatron. Megatron has a bunch of problems with Megatron, calling himself Megatron. So he's like, your name isn't Megatron, not Megatron. And we get this whole thing. There's this gold disc from Galvatron that has everything that's ever happened. So Megatron knows exactly what Optimus Prime is going to do, how everything goes, how he loses. But he doesn't listen to the whole disc. He gets just enough to know how to get to the Allspark and defeat Optimus Prime. It's the only really stupid part, because I don't believe that... I guess you could say at this point, maybe Megatron is so desperate that he just gets what he needs. I don't think Megatron is stupid enough to not listen to the entire disc. But if that's the way they want to do it, you could say it that way.
Yeah.
But I also don't think Megatron really falls apart like that until halfway through this season. Like, if he came into the season acting like that, I'm behind the decision. But he didn't really come into the season like that. It was, like, halfway through, he starts to really fall apart.
Yeah.
Like, he's hurt, but, like, he's not I don't think he's mentally that gone yet. Uh-huh. We get the Transformers working with the Beast War Transformers. It's really cool. We get a bunch of characters from Beast Wars. It was genuinely, it's just really, really fun. Same thing with Megatron and all his. We get that camaraderie. And then the last couple of episodes kind of go sideways. We get it finally. They get the Allspark. They get off of Earth, and they go. And Starscream kind of flipped sides, which was really crazy. Starscream got a black arachnia, or maybe it is just arachnia. It might not be black arachnia. I think it's arachnia. They got Energon from Megatron, and she, with her webs, can synthesize anything and make it. So she got Megatron, because the only person that can listen to the disc is Megatron. She made Megatron's arm so that they could listen to the disc. Starscream steals it, because he's Starscream, and he takes it, and he listens. He listens to the whole thing. So Starscream learns about Unicron, because the disc goes all the way up to where Megatron becomes Galvatron, and it's Galvatron that is on the disc speaking, not Megatron. And Megatron didn't know. So Starscream learns about Unicron, kind of backstabs Megatron. Like it was really good. And then we get, basically they get off the planet. They take all the Beast Wars guys with them. So now they're all together. And we try to get back to Cybertron. And they get thrown back. They get captured. This dust comes up and it puts them somewhere. And they're like, well, what is this? Where are we at? And it's current day Cybertron. Everything is destroyed. There's nothing left. Except for the only thing there is a temple of the Allspark. And that's just it. Like, he actually goes over, I think her name is Alita 1 now that I think about it. His, like, wife, his, like, love interest, yeah. Optimus's. And we just see her, like, rusted in the ground, dead. I think we see Jetfire also, like, dead and in the ground. All over, like, all these well-known people. We leave Cybertron after season 2 and we don't go back. Like, even, I think halfway through, we're kind of just done with Cybertron. Yeah. I could have just missed it, or I just don't remember how it ended. But, like, we just kind of leave them. We go with the other group.
Yeah, we follow the characters as they're leaving.
Yeah.
Don't go back.
Yeah. And another Transformer I didn't think I was going to see, we got Nemesis Prime, which is the version of Optimus that also gets caught by Galvatron and turned into an evil Transformer.
Yeah.
So we just got to see Optimus Prime try to fight Galvatron and Megatron. And then at the end we get this big fight, Galvatron and Nemesis Prime versus Beast Wars Megatron, regular Megatron, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, all the Beast War guys, everything. And they're going off. And it was really cool to see. The Allspark Guardians, like, delete them. Galvatron and Optimus Prime, or Nemesis Prime, they go away. They put the Allspark back. The planet comes back together. We get the end. Optimus is like, we can finally rebuild. We can live together in peace. And Megatron is Megatron, so he turns around. He's like, we can live in peace for now. This half of the planet is mine. For now. I'll be back. And they walk off, and then the Autobots walk off, and we get the final scene, which may allude to a season 4. Galvatron and Nemesis Prime were saved by Unicron again, brought back. He's like, using the dead universe to skip through time. You thought you could get away with it, but I will still have what I want. And then, like, the best part is, as the Decepticons walk away, Starscream's like, he's still coming. Because, like, Unicron went to Starscream and talked to him and told him exactly what was going to happen, how it was going to happen. And he said, I know you won't do anything about it because you're a coward. And Starscream kind of proved him wrong and tried to kill Megatron on Earth by throwing him into, like, a volcano. But it didn't work, obviously, because Megatron.
Yeah.
And Starscream's like, I can still hear him. He's still out there. He's still coming. Everybody's like, Unicron's a myth. He's like, he's not a myth. He's coming. And, like, Starscream is now, like, this, like, scarred psychiatric patient, and I love it. Because, like, Starscream trying to be, like, this backstabbing guy, like, it's been done so obviously because that's his character, but, like, I'm just tired of it. So having him just be actually nuts, I'm so down with. He actually hand delivers what they need to get off the planet and to beat Megatron to the Autobots. He calls Bumblebee, He's like, he literally, he sends him a page, like, he pages him. And Bumblebee looks down, he's like, I'll be right back. He walks outside, he's like, Starscream, what do you want? I don't know, it's so fun watching everybody talk shit to Starscream. And Starscream is, like, right the entire time. It makes my day. But yeah, that was the trilogy. It's really good. I really like it. And you should watch it. There's a couple things I left out. Like, there's a pirate group. Yeah. It's so good.
You had me at pirate.
Yeah, the pirates actually are really cool. They don't do anything with them, but
of course.
Into season 3, I mean, like, they do things in season 2,
yeah.
But like,
yeah, they're pirates. They don't actually go with you and bother you.
It was really good. It was really good because it was like a collection of all kinds of different. They really connected all kinds of different Transformer stuff.
Yeah.
I was waiting for, like, on the planet there to be a caveman that, like, found, like, a Transformer arm and starts throwing shit on the ground and it explodes and it, like, names himself Michael Bay.
Oh, I was going to say voiced by Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, no, not Shia. I don't want Shia anywhere near this franchise anymore. After the Transformer with nuts, I'm tired of that. I can't.
I think that's the only thing Transformers I've seen was Revenge of the Fallen.
The one with the nuts.
I don't have a lot of opinions on Transformers because I never see any of it, even though...
They're sick.
Yeah, like
Devastator.
Yeah. Like, I get the appeal.
You have something...
It was almost a really good transition when you were talking about Starscream. It was almost a good transition when you talked about Starscream just being crazy. Because I think that's a really good transition to who I'm talking about and their comic. I'm talking about a Moon Knight comic today, this morning, whatever time you're watching this, it doesn't really matter.
At the time.
Morning. If you're watching night, you're a heathen.
So for the longest time, this was the only Moon Knight comic I've ever read. It was just the case of it. I'm not going to reveal how I read it the first time. But I went on the Comixology and I bought the first volume and I read it, and I actually then went on to buy and read the second one, and I have the third one, but I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
Now, the second and third volumes in this run are actually different writers. It's a different team than this first one. I'm only talking about the first one because I think, number one, first one's very good. I believe it's the 2014 run. I believe this is the first time we see the Mr. Knight persona, which is him in the actual, like, suit and tie that's all white. It's very good. Each issue kind of has its own story, and they don't really interconnect until the next volume. So you could literally go and pick an issue and read it and understand. I don't suggest doing that if you've never read Moon Knight before, because the first issue does a really good job at just telling you everything you need to know about Moon Knight.
Yeah.
The story here is that Moon Knight has been gone for a while, and he's back all of a sudden. And just again, like, just the opening monologue is just Mark Spector was a mercenary. He died. He says he was brought back by this Egyptian moon god. He was. That's his origin. He's kind of crazy as deity. It just goes through all the things about Moon Knight that you need to know if you've never read the origin of Moon Knight. And let's be honest, if you've never read the origin of Moon Knight, you're not going to go read the origin of Moon Knight. You're not going to go back and read those old comics. Some people do. I don't. I'm not a big fan of old school comics. Like, I have a few that kind of...
Plenty of Moon Knight's newer comics do a good job of, in the first, like, volume, getting you the backstory that you need and making you understand. Like,
making you understand what you need to know about this character when they throw this weird stuff at you. And also, this first volume doesn't throw a lot of that weird stuff at you. You get a lot of it in the second one. So be ready for it if you go farther. But I'm only going to talk about the first one. I'm going to talk about those 6 issues. I'm not going to go in depth to all the issues because I don't need to. I'm only going to talk about like 2 or 3 that I really like. Got to talk about the first one though because it gives us all our characters. It gives us our detective character. He returns just to leave.
Just like my father. I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Oh, no.
I love my dad.
Moon Knight is back. This lady is giving cliff notes. We don't know who she's talking to. We don't find out who she's talking to. It's the second volume, so just treat her as a reporter. That's fine. Hear about Detective Flint. Now, Detective Flint is a detective.
What? I don't know why you're laughing. There's nothing going on. Audio listeners, nothing's happening.
Detective Flint is a detective at the NYPD, and it's...
The New York Puppy Department?
Sure. The New York Puppy Department. the reporter introduces him to someone who knows a lot about Moon Knight. Him and his boys, him and officers, not good boys, officers, are, yep, are investigating this body. He's like, oh, it's a slasher. And Moon Knight pulls up in a self-driving limo. We see him in the limo just like, pull over here, like just says things to it. Gets out, Mr. Knight persona. To paint a picture for you, imagine a man wearing a suit with like a mask over his head. All of it is white. Everything is white. White tie, white coat, and not like white, like comic book white, like white. Like they just didn't color this part of the book. And then like a little crescent on his forehead to show that it's Moon Knight.
Just imagine a pimp named Slickback, all white, minus the big frilly hat.
Yeah. He walks up, and one of the officers looks and goes, "Sir, that's..." And Flint cuts him off, just like, "No, this is Mr. Knight." And the officer goes, "No, sir, that's..." And the detective cuts him off and says, "Don't say that. If you identify this man as a certain vigilante, I will have to take certain actions against him. We don't need to do that. This is Mr. Knight." I love that.
Yeah.
I just like that picture of just like, no, if you identify him as Moon Knight, then I'm going to have to try to detain him. I don't want to try to detain him. So this is Mr. Knight. We don't know who this is. We know him as an informant. Moon Knight pops up. It is Moon Knight. He pops up. He looks to the body. He's like, "Looks like a slasher. I think that's the first case we ever worked on, Flint." And he's just like, "It is." He's just like, and Moon Knight, in almost like a Batman-esque way, not to draw too many Batman parallels, is able to quickly assess the body, assess how he was killed, and assess where the attacker probably went. Now, is this because he's smart? Is this because he's crazy? Or is this because he's under the influence of a moon god? We will never know. It isn't a may never know, we just will never know. So, the cop says, "This isn't your job, why are you even here?" And Mr. Knight stands up and goes, "Well, in order to pursue him, you're going to have to go underground and fight a possibly dangerous individual who will slice you up to a million pieces. Honestly, I'd rather I just do that job for you." And he leaves, goes, catches the guy, starts talking to him, learns things about him. The guy's like, "Drop your weapons." He's like, "Fine," and he tosses. He has like I don't want to call it a crescent-shaped batarang, but it's a crescent-shaped batarang. He just like, fine, he throws it to the side.
Or batarangs, just bat-shaped moonarangs. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
He throws it to the side, and they talk. And Moon Knight is kind of undressing him a bit. It's just like, you want peace, but you bring this. You want this, but like this isn't worth it. And the guy's just like, "Fine then, come and try to defeat me." Moon Knight just goes, "Oh, I already defeated you like 2 minutes ago. It's so noisy in here, you didn't even notice where I threw it." And it looks to his side, and his crescent moon thing has pierced his side, and he's bleeding out. The guy goes for a swipe, he just collapses. Dead.
Damn.
Just beat him that quickly. He goes up, he goes off, and that's the end of that issue. Each of these issues, I think, are done really well at the beginning. They give you a little cliff note of what's happening, and then it's like a Marvel Entertainment Presents, and then a Moon Knight page, and then it gives you the title. That one was Slasher. There's 6 stories. They're all very good. I'm going to talk about my favorite next, which is Scarlet. This one's just really good. So we see a guy standing on a building. Mr. Knight pulls up in his car. The door opens. The guy looks in and is just like, "Go away." Moon Knight pulls out an Egyptian sword. I'm not going to try the pronunciation of the name. No.
Okay.
It's one of the ones where like it goes in and it's like a hook.
That would be a scimitar.
No.
Oh, you mean the one
A scimitar is just a curved blade. Yeah, the one that like goes down.
Okay, I got what you're saying.
I'll put a picture of it up for visual listeners. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because it's got it. He just holds up to his like, "Listen, last time I took this sword from a man who did some very bad things for me and took away a woman I loved. I've been told to this day he is still passing shards of his ribcage. So let's not do this, okay? You stole a little girl on the way home from school. I protect night travelers. She's one of them. I'm not interested in any of your crime politics, so don't try to defend what you did, all right? How many men are in the building?" And he's just like, "I don't know." He's like, "No, don't. What floor is she on?" 5th floor. I assume you have men spread out throughout the whole building? Yes. How many floors are there? 6. Front entrance is probably the good idea. Now go away before I take anger out on you. Guy runs away, or maybe he kills him. I don't remember. Now we get Moon Knight in his Mr. Knight suit, fighting his way from the front door to the top like it's a tower challenge in a video game. Like, just creative kill ways, because Moon Knight doesn't take prisoners.
He also doesn't do defense.
Sometimes he does. In here he does a little bit of defense, but mainly to where like changing momentum.
Yeah.
It's
Which really
just-
isn't defense.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. And every time, I swear, going through this comic, no one dies the same. They all die in a different way. Cool ones include.
To be honest, Moon Knight is just Final Destination if it were a superhero.
He's fist fighting guys. He's taking them down. Every time he gets to the stairs, he says the floor of the next thing. Like he walks through the door, he says 1, he goes up the stairs. 2, 3. Favorite kills was when someone grabs his jacket, so he takes his jacket off, wraps it around his head, and just yeets him off the banister.
Love that.
He's on floor 4. A guy comes up with a baseball bat and he just goes, excellent. Really needed one of those. Kicks the shit out of him, grabs the baseball bat, and just gets up to the 5th floor, gets all the people down. It's a lot of fighting, so I don't have a lot of things to describe on it. I just see it's just a lot of fun and a couple good one-liners here or there. Finds the girl, gets her safe. One person got away, is up on the roof. Moon Knight just goes, drone, and his big crescent drone that he flies in on his Moon Knight just comes down and crashes into the building and kills the guy. Jesus. No prisoners. And then they're all stories like this. The last one I'm going to cover is the very last one where we get...
Is there any reason behind it being called Scarlet?
The girl's name was Scarlet. Yeah, the girl's name is Scarlet.
I thought Scarlet Spider.
No.
I was getting excited, but then...
No. There's no other guests in this.
This takes place in Chicago, right?
No, this takes place in New York.
It's New York.
Yes.
Who's in Chicago? What superheroes from Chicago? Why do I want to think Moon Knight's from Chicago?
I don't know. He might be from Chicago.
I don't know.
This takes place in New York. Again, it's the New York PD, NYPD.
Oh yeah, NYPD. Yeah. Okay, yeah. My bad. I'm just being crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, comic books are weird. The last one, we don't get the name until the very end. It's called Spectre.
DC?
We get more backstory on the policeman that he had a little scuffle with at the beginning. We see him kind of breaking down as Moon Knight continues to save these people. It's just like, he acts with no law. The classic, he's a vigilante sort of thing. And the cop is just breaking down. It's like, he's going and doing our job. I became a cop to Satan. He's becoming kind of obsessed. So he looks over Moon Knight's previous file from when he was Moon Knight before, finds the file on Black Spectre, and pretty much decides, I'll be the new Black Spectre. I'm going to kill Moon Knight, and I will take his place. I will be the new vigilante savior of New York. We're just going to ignore all of them. So his wife tries to calm him and is like, listen, like, you became a cop to help people. You're still helping people. So what if Moon Knight is going around doing stuff? It's like, she lives in Marvel's New York City and she's used to it. I don't know. He does ultra homework on Moon Knight and Mark Spector. His identity is public by this point. Like, he's crazy enough that everyone knows he's Mark Spector. Some even know his other personalities. He sets up a situation that Moon Knight will respond to and plants 3 car bombs that are like synced up to phones sending messages, which is kind of cool. It's mainly that way to fail. Moon Knight comes down, saves the person. First 2 go off. Third one doesn't. Our new Black Spectre goes, well, that was dumb. I thought I rigged it correctly. He goes out, fights Moon Knight. Is not an equal fight. This man is just a bit off the rails. Not as off the rails as our protagonist, but they're fighting. He's saying, he's pretty much trash talking Moon Knight in the way that he's defending his actions of, you go out, you act lawlessly, I can do it, you do it better. And then the 3rd bomb finally goes up. It just happens to be the car behind Black Spectre. He falls to the ground. The reason why it didn't work is because the last phone was having trouble sending its text.
Okay.
That's why, like, it's kind of dumb, but it works in what they wanted to do.
Shouldn't have Boost Mobile.
Yes. I don't know what else to tell you.
Could be me.
I don't know why you had to interrupt us for that, but couldn't be me.
Well, you would stop talking for a second. I just wanted to show you.
So, Moon Knight then dresses him down. It's just like, do you know why I'm able to do what I do? You know why I'm able to do this? You know why I am able to take being crazy? Because I do this alone. I don't depend on anyone. something tells me you couldn't do this by yourself. And if he doesn't kill him, he leaves him to die because Moon Knight doesn't give a fuck. And he flies off. That's the end. There's other.
Oh, I thought this was going to be he goes, finds a wife, and shoots her too because it was a part of something. But he said, like, can't do this by yourself. It's like, oh, God.
I'm going to have to reinsert this because I forgot that before Black Spectre goes out, his wife's trying to talk him out of it. And he's just like, yeah. And I'm pretty sure he assumed that Mark Spector still had his partners because Mark Spector used to have partners. So he said, and to be the counter that, I need to work alone. And then he kills his wife.
Oh, okay.
His wife is dead.
Okay. That's where I thought that was going, and then you didn't go there. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, that's
I get a pause so I can move that and move it into the
okay.
thing. But I got it. There was enough of a pause there that I can edit it.
Okay.
Because I did forget that, and that is an important thing. That he took everything away from himself to be the opposite of Moon Knight, just to cause himself more suffering. When in reality, he did exactly what Moon Knight's already doing.
Yeah.
That's why he has automated things. Like his drone is automated, his
Yeah.
car is automated. His car also has a license plate that has like a customized license plate that says Spectre on it, which is just cool. Moon Knight's it because Mark Spector is last.
Well, the last thing I heard is that if you have customized license plates, you die. So
It's the last thing I heard.
Yeah, it's very good. If you've never read Moon Knight before, I highly recommend it. It's really good. You don't need prior knowledge of Moon Knight to get it.
Moon Knight is sick.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Even if just like the action scenes are really good. He's got a couple good one-liners. There's with the Moon Knight show coming out, I want people to try to familiarize themselves with this character. Not like familiarize themselves, but know what to expect. Because a lot of the internet look of Moon Knight is either Marvel's Batman or Deadpool with a Batman skin, and he's not either of those things. Like, he's got some good one-liners, yeah, but Moon Knight isn't Deadpool. Deadpool is, like, jokey throughout the whole time. Moon Knight's being serious.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to think.
Moon Knight is just better Batman. But...
Yeah, like when Moon Knight is threatening a guy saying that he's told that the guy still passes shards of his ribcage, he's not being Deadpool and trying to make a joke out of it. No, he's probably telling the truth.
Yeah.
Like, he's absolutely serious. He's not even like, he's kind of trying to threaten you, but not even trying to threaten you. He's giving you the facts of what you need to know.
Moon Knight is the master of tone.
Yeah. And fair thought on it, I think Oscar Isaac was perfect for it.
I hope he does well.
Yeah. I think he can do it very well, but I hope the show is good, and I hope it pull. I would love if they pulled from this run. They might not, because if they're doing, I don't know how they plan to do his origin and stuff. If they plan on showing, again, probably wouldn't show it. Because it's a very weird...
The show has to be R-rated if they really want to get, I feel like, a true...
I agree with that.
A true-to-be version, but you never know. It's Disney.
Yeah, we'll see.
Apparently Deadpool's a part of it now, so maybe we will get some more R-rated content. I don't know.
A part of it.
Yeah, so I don't know. But...
Yeah, that's what I have. I don't want to go more. I don't want to take up too much time going into these stories. The sniper story is really cool. There's another story that sees stuff with him with a therapist, like... A lot of cool stuff in here. And again, you don't need to know anything about Moon Knight to start it. And I think reading it will give you... It's also not that expensive. It's like $10 on Comixology for the trade with all 6 issues.
Okay.
It's just... It will teach you... It'll show you what you should expect from Moon Knight. It's a very good read overall. I just want to put that out into the universe. Give it a shot. Learn... And if you can't afford it, I'm sure Comicstorian has it as one of their things. Like, it's a very well-known Moon Knight run. They probably have it. I know they have stuff on Moon Knight as well. I assume Comic Explained might have some stuff.
Maybe.
I haven't looked through his things. But give it a shot.
Absolutely.
It's very good if you haven't read it. I know you already know about it because you love the Mr. Knight persona.
Speaking of the Mr. Knight persona, if you want to give something else a shot, Mr. Knight in Marvel Future Fight goes absolutely insane.
I almost checked last night. I was just like, I should
Bro,
play
he
Future
goes
Knight and see the stuff
hard.
that Moon Knight does.
Oh my god, he goes insane. Tomorrow War Machine drops, $30.99. It's been halfway through, and we're getting Loki suits from the show.
Ooh.
It looks like we're getting 2, and I think one's going to be a hero and one's going to be a villain. One is him in the regular jacket, and then the second one is President. We're getting President Loki.
President Loki's always is a good shout as a costume because it's
Yeah.
also a comic run. So you
I
can
was like, it's gonna probably be. I would assume they probably have the same skills. They might actually be different. I don't think they will, but it's just so one can be a hero and one can be a villain. But I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably gonna buy it. Because his Agent of Asgard one is already good. So if a new thing comes out, it's usually it's pretty good. Some of them aren't that great. Like Black Panther 3099 wasn't that great when that just came out. That came out with the Ultimates. And that wasn't that. I don't think it's as bad as everybody says it is, but it still looks cool. So
Yeah.
But I'm excited. That update will be tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that's what I got. Recommendation to read it. It's on Comixology. You can probably give a call to any. It's available on Comixology. Physical version's probably available on Amazon. It's also probably available at your local comic shop. Check your local comic shop.
Support local businesses.
Give them a call and ask.
Yeah.
They might even order it for you.
Yeah, facts.
I want to see it. I think I'm going today. I'll see if they have it when I go, and I'll buy it if they have it.
I did a little bit of research.
Oh no.
Man-Thing is kind of sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know Man-Thing could do all the things that he does. Man-Thing is set. I might actually become a Man-Thing stan. I am a thing with the things.
A thing with the things.
Honestly, if I could make a superhero team, it would just be the things, and it would be like Ben Grimm, Swamp Thing, Man-Thing.
All right. I think it's time to throw for break, I believe.
Yes, we're going to a break, and then we'll be back with the first annual.
Don't say it's not annual.
It's an annual.
It isn't, though. Are we going to wait a year until we do it again?
Yes.
No, we're not.
In dog years.
How about...
The first official.
Yeah, you just say first official. I almost want to say monthly, but I don't want to tie it to monthly, just
No.
in case we want to do it a second time before we get to...
The first official
Down.
Kaiju and Comics draft. Right?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
There we go. Are you ready?
Cool. But we got to throw it to ad and take a break.
Yeah, ready? Ready? I'm going to throw it to the ad. You ready? You ready?
My favorite part of all of them isn't even you throwing it or anything like that. It's always what the camera picks up afterwards, because I will leave stuff in on the YouTube one because there is no ad break to throw it to.
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to the official Kaiju and Comics draft. We will be doing this segment 3 times.
This version, at least.
Yes, this
We're definitely
specific
doing drafts.
topic. We're going to start doing more drafts. I'm a sports guy. There's drafts in wrestling. We all know Zach is a wrestling man.
They're also just fun.
They are just fun.
They're just fun.
Yes, 100%.
Some things just transcend where they come from, and they're just fun.
Yes. So, today we will be drafting DC items.
Special items.
Special items, accessories. Caveats for this episode. Lantern rings. 1. That's it. If Zach drafts any version of a lantern ring, he gets that ring. Nobody else can pick any version of a lantern ring.
Yep, there's two clauses that come along. The Mjolnir clause and the Lantern clause.
Yeah.
He just explained part of the Lantern clause. What also with the Lantern clause is you pick what version. So like with the Lantern rings, you have the Golden Age version, the version we're most used to, and Hal even has a special version. If you pick whoever picks one Lantern ring, they're all done.
Yes.
They're all off the table. Mjolnir clause is if you pick it, it's assumed that you'll be able to use it. Such as if when we do Marvel, if you pick Mjolnir, it's assumed you are also worthy. We're not cutting edges about, well, you wouldn't use it because you're probably not. No.
Wouldn't, if you picked Mjolnir, if you chose Mjolnir, would you really be worthy?
Yes.
So
In
Because
this-
that's the
in this
caveat I
case-
just made, and
No,
I am God.
No,
I don't know if you knew
that,
this.
but
In the
Also,
case of this draft, yes.
yeah, but
Also-
in the case of reality,
Well, probably not.
it'd be it'd be a hard. to
also,
choose.
our rule for this week, we're limited to 1 vehicle. We were originally not going to do a vehicle, and then I pitched it this morning, why don't we just do one? And
Yeah, it was
that's
swimming
just
around
gonna
in
be
my
the rule.
head, but I was just like, it's probably going to be easier to ban it. When I was just like, oh, if Tanner has that idea too, then it's just going to work.
Yeah, and just do one.
Yeah.
This originally was just going to be listing, but
Yes.
I came up with the idea of driving home last night, doing a draft, and Zach was into it, so I was excited. So I'm
Yeah, it's a
excited.
good way. Adds some variety to it.
So we will now be choosing draft order, and I'm going to throw this over to you, my beautiful co-host, to explain what we're doing.
So I have the beautiful jar. We know the jar from last episode. It held Jaro last episode.
I've been told, is not an item. I cannot pick
He's
Jaro.
not an item. He's a character. He's literally Robin. He's on the back of my
All I'm
laptop
saying
right
is,
now. Leave
if
him alone.
in Smash Brothers, a fairy in a bottle is an item, makes sense to me. But I guess we're not going off of Smash logic.
So we have 3 D20s in here. We have a blue one, a purple one, and a green one. I hope you can assume who each of those are. He's purple, I'm blue,
Yes.
and Techie is green. Techie is joining us for he'll be joining us for most of these drafts, I assume.
No,
Definitely
I'll be joining you for all of them.
definitely these 3 item drafts.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so basically I'm going to shake them, I'm going to roll them. First draft pick will be highest, second will be
Yep.
middle, and then lowest will be last. And we're snake drafting, correct?
Yes, that means it goes 1, 2, 3 for the first round. Second round starts 3, 2, 1. It moves like a snake. So 3 and 1 will always have back-to-back picks. 2 doesn't. Obviously, it's in the middle, but still, it just keeps it from the first pick always having it keeps you from being mollywopped if you're not the first pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're doing 5 rounds for this.
5 rounds.
For this specific one, we're doing
Yes.
5 rounds. 3 of us will be 15 items in total. Assumingly 3 vehicles, but it could be less.
Yeah, there may only one of us might pick a vehicle. Nobody might pick a vehicle. I'm picking a vehicle, I guess technically. But
I am. I know the one that I'm trying to go for.
yes. All right, so let us begin. Go ahead and give us a roll.
I might be a little bad.
That hurts.
Wow, those are all low numbers, but
Okay, so I will be second.
I believe that has
You are
me
first. Yes, so Zach is got the first pick, and he's going to take what I want. So now I'm big sad, but I have pick number 2, so I know what I'll be taking if whatever he doesn't.
My
take.
favorite part is my first pick. We're going to.
Are you announcing the first pick?
No, I'm announcing that there's going to be a thing with the first pick that we're going to have to discuss
Okay.
because I didn't think about this until today. But now I know that
I know
now
it.
I know that I've won it.
Oh, it makes me so mad.
But the problem is
You're making me mad.
the problem is I don't know how this affects the lantern rule.
You make me so mad. It doesn't affect it. It doesn't. It's its own separate thing.
Okay. If you want to say it's no separate thing, I'm willing to go with you on that. But
You ready? I'm gonna count you in, and then you can say your
Sure.
pick. With the first official pick in the official Kaiju and Comics draft, Zach Young will be selecting
the parallax.
Fuck!
For those of you who don't know, the parallax is from Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Dark Knight's Metal. It's used by that universe's version of Dick Grayson. It's quite literally like an electric guitar axe fusion made out of the leftover rings and cores from the different lantern cores. The different power batteries, it has the powers of just about all of them. It can amplify different effects based off the picks that he's using. He took down a Superman dragon with a kryptonite pick. Is just cool. I forgot about it until today, until I saw one of Techie's guitars, and I was like, I need that. So yeah, my first pick, the Parallax.
So mad.
Where I was going at is that
mad.
I didn't know if
I knew it. As soon as your eyes lit up today, he didn't even say anything, people. He was just sitting there, and I was like, I know what you want, please. Please. Oh, my God.
I didn't know how you guys would want that to affect the other lantern rings. You're saying it's separate entity.
It's separate,
I'm willing
yeah.
to go with you on that.
Yeah.
So lantern rings are still on the table.
Yes. So that would leave it to be me. Yeah. With the second, I don't even have to think about this because this was going to be my first pick before I thought about the Parallax last night, and now it's still going to be my first pick. With the second pick in the Kaiju and Comics official item draft, Tanner Bays will be selecting the Mobius chair.
Okay.
Because the Mobius chair is sick. It currently houses the power of, well, at some point, it houses the power of Manhattan. And it's just sick. It's infinite knowledge. And when you sit on it, you look like a badass. So I'm taking it. Is that a vehicle? Is that my vehicle out of the way?
I would say so.
Is it? Is it? Sure.
Is it? Okay.
Hold on. Let me
So I don't think, does it transport?
see what it
It
clarifies.
definitely moves.
I feel like it moves, but there are other things in this thing that move, like...
Okay.
Some of these items give you the
wait.
ability
Hold
to
on.
fly,
So this
like-
is my question. Would the Silver Surfer's surfboard be a vehicle?
It gives you the powers of the Silver Surfer. I would say yes.
Maybe, but like lantern rings aren't vehicles, and those give you the ability to fly.
You fly.
You went and you picked like another one
Yeah.
that I'm not 100% sure, because the surfboard's kind of a vehicle.
Yeah, but it's kind of not. That's what I was like.
I'm going to vote no I'm going to vote no that
Okay.
Mobius chair is not a vehicle.
All right.
Looking at it, understanding what it does a bit more, I'm going to vote no as well.
It's just kind of a chair that levitates, so like kind of, but I wouldn't count it as one.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you don't go more than 10 miles an hour, I'm good.
I'm about to stay on that golf cart
The
speed.
debate is still on about the surfboard, but that's another day.
All right.
Oh my gosh. No, I would say that
That's the most.
Silver Surfer surfboard does not.
That's
count
like
as a
the
vehicle.
most unsure one that I can think of in the moment.
Yeah.
But we will discuss that another day.
Okay. So it is up to you. You have back-to-back picks, so you get 2. Go crazy.
I know, and I'm gonna be a dick with my second pick.
Are you ready? You want me to read you in? I feel like the commissioner.
That's what we should do. We should do for next ones. We should get like voiceovers from like different people. Like get some from like Dane and Darian or Gary.
Oh my
and
God,
just, like,
please.
be able to like load them.
Oh my God, I love that.
That sounds like a good idea.
Are you ready with your pick?
Yes.
With the 3rd pick in the Kaiju and Comics official item draft, Robert Williams selects
The Spear of Destiny.
Fuck you, motherfucker!
privy me to this knowledge. I am very DC unfanboy,
Okay.
so
It is actually it was originally
It's legit a
Greek
biblical item.
mythology. Yeah, it's a biblical item.
Like
It's from-
legit from the Bible. It is a spear that pierced the side of Christ while he was on the cross.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You know what? No, I know
And
what
so-
this is. I've seen Constantine use this thing.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh! If you've ever played, what is it? Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
No.
Such a good game. You search for the Spear of Destiny and use it. So much fun.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It was also seen on season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow. It's the MacGuffin that they're fighting over. It can like reshape reality.
Oh,
It's-
yeah, it is fucking insane.
Guys, I just realized I have the second pick. I'm fucked.
So,
I am not gonna get any back to
I
back.
choose the Spear of Destiny. Are you ready for my second pick?
Okay, go with the 4th pick in the Kaiju and Comics item draft.
This is the beginning of the second round.
The top of the second round, Robert Williams selects.
Imagine. Are we fighting after this?
I was going to throw it to.
Fighting?
I know we have a limited audience, but throw it to the audience to see who has the best list.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Cool. The White Lantern ring.
Okay.
That was going to be my first pick before you brought up the parallax.
I was going to say. I was taking a lantern ring.
Yeah, it was going to be the White Lantern
For the
ring.
people who don't know, the White Lantern Corps, they can like literally just bring things to life and fucking.
Are you going with that version?
What other version is there? Please.
There's
explain.
Kyle's version.
Kyle's version is not.
Please explain it to me.
Kyle's version basically has the powers of all the Lantern Corps in one.
Oh, okay. Well then, Kyle's version.
Yeah. It's just like,
Thanks, Zach.
if you're going to do it, at least do it right.
Fair enough. But yeah, I choose Kyle's White Lantern
Yep,
ring.
the Ion White Lantern ring.
Huh. Well, that does me a little doozy, doesn't it?
I'm upset someone pulled the Spear of Destiny out there. I thought I had
I'm so glad I knew DC before we started doing stuff because like I had pulled up a list to check again and I read it and I was like, wait, fuck yeah. So
that was going to be like I don't have to worry about getting this first because no one probably knows about it.
Bro, I'm going to struggle today. I am not
Yes,
a
you
DC
are.
guy. This is rough for me. But I think
You picked to do DC first.
I did because I wanted to get my weakest one out of the way first,
Okay.
so then I could finish strong.
if you pick your vehicle now, you can then.
I'm going to pick my vehicle right now.
So cool because I was gonna.
I'm
say,
going to
give
pick
yourself
the
time.
greatest vehicle of all time.
Oh really?
Yes, with the 5th pick in the Kaiju and Comics item draft,
Damn it!
Tanner Bass will be selecting the Invisible Jet.
Fuck you! Fuck you! It's mine. Fuck you!
Oh,
Oh,
I
God
just
damn
think
it.
it's absolutely hilarious, and I love it.
Fuck you.
It's literally my favorite thing.
It's the best part of it's the only good part of the Wonder Woman 84 movie. The fact that they were able to fit the Invisible Jet in there somehow. I popped in the theater. I can't lie.
I was say I just love the old school cartoon.
Me too. Or did you ever see? There was a Family Guy thing, and so it was like.
Yes, I've seen it.
Oh, where she's like, I'm peeing, but Superman can see through the invisible jet. And he's like, sup? And she's like, get the fuck out.
Okay, I gotta consult the list, the game plan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, pick some good shit, because I just stole 2 bitches.
Yeah, you have back-to-back picks.
Yeah.
You get, and listen, this is a first draft pick. I'm not stupid.
Okay. All right, we're gonna do. Okay.
You ready?
So I'm gonna follow up from you, and I'm gonna do my vehicle next. Go ahead.
Okay.
Throw it to
With
me.
the 6th pick of the Kaiju and Comics official item draft, Zach Young selects.
All right, so I'm gonna look like a complete casual here because I don't remember the name fully, but it's gonna be Rip Hunter's Time Sphere. This is the vehicle and device that it's a big globe vehicle that Rip Hunter uses to travel through time.
Okay. I think I have an idea.
Other characters have used it as well. Booster Gold has used it from time to time. He now has his own like sort of thing, but the Time Spheres just has that more iconic thing of it's like just like a big glass ball.
No, that is what it's called.
Is it what? Did I get it right?
It is called
I was
Rip
so
Hunter's
unsure
Time
about the
Sphere.
naming. Yeah, right. I believe Rip Hunter also invented it in the DC universe. I could be wrong on that one.
Doesn't say on here, but
Okay.
like that's Wikipedia. Like people change things.
I will say that they make it in the first season of The Flash. At the end, they make it, and it's credited as created by Rip Hunter as a throwaway line. So that's always cool.
The first
So that's-
season of the Flash. The
What?
first season.
At the very end, where they make the time sphere for Reverse Flash to go home, he mentions that the plans were created by Rip Hunter as a throwaway reference.
Oh my god.
And then, they would later use him in Legends of Tomorrow.
I haven't seen that show in forever.
I like time travel stuff in DC, so like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
kind of references hang in my brain. So that's that pick.
Okay. And with the first pick in the 3rd round of the official Kaiju and Comics item draft, Zach Young selects.
The Helmet of Naboo.
Damn it, that was my next fucking pick. That's
Now-
Dr. Fate's helmet, right?
It's Dr. Fate's
Damn
helmet.
you.
I am taking the version.
This sucks. Picking second is the worst.
I'm taking the version that still gives me control of myself. There's
Yeah, because I know
versions-
there's the one that's like...
There's versions where Naboo takes complete control, but there is a version that I am choosing for it, which gives me first it immediately.
Oh, I know what I'm thinking.
It immediately calls to me Dr. Fate's other main magical items because he has his amulet and his cloak are technically major magical items as well. And instead,
It's called the Helmet of Fate.
no, it's called the Helmet of Naboo.
Your specific version, you mean?
It's originally the Helmet of Naboo.
Okay,
They might have changed it to
apologies.
when
I'm just
his
looking
amulet
stuff
and
up as we
cape,
go.
when his amulet and cloak kind of became lesser of a thing. They kind of started changing it, but
Okay.
Helmet of Fate / Naboo. It's
My
supposed
bad.
to be the Helmet of Naboo.
Sweet.
Because it's the Helmet of Naboo, the Amulet of Anubis, and the Cloak of... Fuck. Not the point.
Nice.
They had god names. Egyptian god names.
Isis, Sobek.
I don't
Anubis.
know off the top of my head. I know at one point they called it the Cloak... No, they didn't call it this because it's a spirit. I don't remember. All right? I didn't write it down because it didn't matter.
Okay.
Because the helmet's able to call those items.
Of Set.
too. It's not. I would have
The
never
Cloak
noticed.
of Destiny.
Is it the Cloak of Destiny?
Yeah.
Okay. I then discounted that after I thought of it because I also had the spear. But calls to him establishes a mental communication link with Naboo instead of Naboo fully taking you over, which is awesome. Dr. Fate's cool. I like Fate.
I have what I want to take, and I have a question. I know, because I don't even think it's a question. Power word Shazam isn't an item, is it?
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
The staff of Shazam.
But I don't
can
want to
choose-
staff.
But it can give you the powers of Shazam.
don't care
for you
really
to
that
then
much.
Say it.
I don't really care.
Fair enough.
If you want to
You
take
make
it.
an excellent point to where I can greenlight that.
I'm gonna say if you want to take it, but with the 8th pick in the 8th pick, but the 8th pick in the official Kaiju and Comics item draft, Tanner Bays will be selecting Lex Luthor's power armor.
Damn it.
I think it's the specific Injustice one, the big green hulking. Everybody likes like anything that's big and green, so I'm
Yeah.
going for it.
I was gonna take his Rebirth one, which is the Mother Box powered Superman one, but
Oh, that one's really good too.
he has a green version of that exact one, so it's all the same powers.
No, but
It's just-
I like the big. I like the big and thick.
I gotcha.
All right, so Robert, with the last pick in the 3rd round.
Yep.
Okay, pick 9. He's over there studying.
I have to make sure it's the right, the wording's right.
Okay. Do. Oh, jeez. For all my audio listeners, Zach just got a very big smile on his face.
It's like half a smile.
My next item will
With the 9th pick in the Kaiju and Comics official item draft, Robert Williams will be selecting
the Warlagog.
Give me some cliff notes on this.
So, it is basically the Philosopher's Stone from Harry Potter,
Okay.
except you can just alter reality with it.
Yeah.
It's basically the Reality Stone.
Could be me.
There's a lot of like really weird, just like reality altering things in the DC universe.
Yep. But like, here's my thing: where it would be like, I would put this inside of the Spear of Destiny, and then just walk around with it, like.
I walk around like that.
So, that shit.
All right. So, at the top of the 4th round, and the 10th pick of the Kaiju and Comics item draft, Robert Williams will be selecting
The Black Zero. That is my ship.
What are these things? Why am I so
Who has that again?
unknown?
Superman's father
Yeah.
created it to harbor fugitives and send them to the Phantom Zone, where he could hold them captive.
It's a Phantom Zone chip.
Okay.
But it's like, it's the size of a home base, so you
Yeah.
could just take it anywhere.
All right. I have another question.
Go ahead.
Because there's something I want, but I don't know if it counts.
You took my fucking jet.
Does Brother Eye count? Because I know he makes the Omax and kind of turns into something. But he's also previously the satellite system for Batman, where he spies on all like other superheroes. Would I be allowed to get away with that or no?
Yes, but it would have to be the satellite system.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I would say you can get away with that. Because you could basically say that you're taking the Bat computer, but back when he was connected to Brother Eye. So like,
I don't know. That feels kind of. I don't know. I already have my vehicle, and that makes me feel like that's too big. I don't know. I feel weird. So, I'm going to switch it up. With the 11th pick in the official Kaiju and Comics item draft, Tanner Bays will be selecting the Batman Who Laughs glasses.
just to look cool, or do they have powers?
It's like some kind of vision. I think it might keep you from.
I hope there's some sort of villain because it covers your eyes.
Yeah, like it does.
Looking it up now.
If you're able to see
It was
through.
I think it has something to do with the Joker toxin. You could see better, or you can see through the fear or something. I don't remember exactly what it does, but I know it does something. And they look sick, so I'm taking it. Literally, it is just because they look sick.
This is like there's the Hot Topic spikes going across.
I know, literally, it's stupid, but I would love to wear it.
Okay. So the eyes have special properties to allow him to peer into the dark multiverse.
Okay.
With this ability, he can see the dark potential of those around him.
I'll actually love that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm taking those.
Solid. Solid. I like that pick.
It's a solid pick.
I like
You
that
got
pick.
my last pick is goated.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a nice cut to something that none of us were going to grab.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, no, I'm good. Throw it to me.
All right. With the 12th pick of the official Kaiju and Comics item draft, Zach Young will be selecting.
The hero dial.
I know about this one.
I told you about it.
Yeah.
Think
Tell
so
me
whenever it's described, it's think Ben 10 but for superheroes.
Yeah.
The H dial, it's like an old school phone dial. Dial H for hero. That's usually a name of comic. You dial H, and it will turn you into a random superhero.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's really cool.
That's cool.
Sometimes it's heroes that we know about, like it's turned someone into Superman at some point. It can be a hero we don't know about. It can be a good hero, it can be a sad. It's a lot of chaos, but it's also just really cool. And it's currently in the Teen Titans book. So
There you
we
go.
are currently seeing it, which is nice.
All right, and now with his final pick and the 13th pick of the official Kaiju and Comics item draft, Zach Young selects.
All right, so this is my none of us have picked it, and I want to be cool. So I'm going to take the Batarang.
Okay. I got low-key
I'm
got
so
scared.
glad that you took something simple because I am also going
No
to take
one took it.
something
I was
simple.
like, it's the Batarang.
So this is going to be a very simple round.
like,
Yeah.
they're not
But-
they're not ultra powerful, but they're cool. Like, come on.
This one is going to hit home. Like, you know?
So I know what I'm taking. With the 14th pick of the Kaiju and Comics official item draft, Tanner Bay selects a can of shark repellent from the old school show with Adam West. Do you know the episode where the shark jumps on him and he's I want a can of shark repellent, bro.
Love that.
If I didn't take that, I was gonna take Captain Cold's gun.
Okay.
But I need a can of shark repellent. How can I not? It was as soon as you put that in the chat, we were doing this. I'm like, I'm taking it.
It needs to be somewhere.
All right, Bobbert, would you like to finish our draft
Yeah.
with the 15th and final pick in the Kaiju and Comics official item draft? Robert Williams selects.
Dick Grayson's Nightwing suit.
I guess you can take a suit.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him the baton with it too because
Thank
it'd be
you.
weird to not have
I've always wanted to be Nightwing ever
the
since
suit,
I was
so.
young. I was like, bro, he's such a cool fucking character.
Does anybody have anything
fucking
that they were
love
thinking
Dick
about
Grayson.
taking? Obviously, I had Brother Eye. I was thinking about taking, but I wanted the glasses. Captain Cold's gun.
I got the Legion flight ring,
Okay.
which is basic, but it was depending on what else I could get for it. I also have down Wonder Woman's lasso of truth.
The lasso of truth.
Yep.
I wanted to take the original, the first Guardians Gauntlet. Does anybody know what that is?
A little.
I was going to take, but once you took the Parallax, I'm like, if I take this is too many things that have something to do with the
Yeah.
Lantern powers. If nobody would have taken the Parallax, which I was going to take anyway, I was
Krona's
going to go.
Gauntlet.
Huh?
Krona's Gauntlet.
Yes, Krona's Gauntlet. That's what I wanted because that thing is crazy, and it's relevant to when the one Lantern comic where that Guardian comes back and takes over all the Guardians, when they let Sinestro back into the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
It's relevant in that story, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
If I wasn't to choose Dick Grayson's suit, which obviously I still would. Fuck, I just lost it. Oh, Kryptonite. Just straight up Kryptonite.
That's not bad.
Yeah. There's some cool forms of kryptonite that do some really cool things.
Yeah, like would you consider like it's an item? Could I have all of the forms of kryptonite or like one form of
You choose a
kryptonite that can
form of
change?
kryptonite.
Okay.
You know what I was shocked you didn't take? I thought you would take Gizmo's backpack.
Gizmo's cool.
I was going to take Gizmo's backpack. I really thought about it. But I was like, really? I think that one is definitely a vehicle. Because he definitely uses that shit to just go everywhere. You don't ever see Gizmo standing on the ground. I would argue that Doc Ock's tentacles are a vehicle.
I would
Or a suit of armor, I guess.
consider a suit of armor. I
Yeah.
wouldn't consider it a vehicle.
I guess, yeah.
Because like
The more I think about it, yeah, it is definitely
it
a suit of armor.
doesn't go cosmic. It doesn't go in this space.
Another Teen Titans thing. Control Freaks TV control.
Oh my god.
That one I was actually really struggling not taking. But as I said, Shark Repellent is goated. So
Yeah. And so is, the invisible jet.
bro, my list is a little campy.
That's fine. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
But the Mobius chair. That's all I'm saying.
The Mobius chair is good.
I wasn't gonna do Batarangs if someone was gonna do the Batmobile, but then Noah did the Batmobile. I was just like, let me at least grab the Batarangs because
I did Batman. Yeah, I did the shark.
Yeah.
I was shocked there wasn't more Batman stuff.
Yes, it's cool. But do you know how much cosmic shit there is in the DC
that's why I was
universe?
trying to do a spread out. Like I don't need two items that I can control reality with.
I just felt the need.
So that has been
I have one last honorable mention.
okay.
The Wonder Twins rings. I wanted them so bad, but
I was
I have
thinking
no other
about-
person.
I was thinking about if the Wonder Twins
You and
used
Garen.
rings or something.
Huh?
You and Garen.
But we're not twins. I need a twin. So if I found like a thumb from Spy Kids, then I'd be able to use them.
Yeah.
All right, let's outro.
All right, so that's been the first draft.
The first draft of many.
Yes,
I've been your commissioner.
We're going to be coming back in the near future. We're coming back with at least 2 more doing the same format. One with Marvel, one with... We've just been calling it Other.
Yeah, it's going to be Other. Just literally Other.
Yeah, we'll probably do a bit more for that one.
I think we're going to come back with more extended content. I'm excited.
Yeah, I like the draft idea.
Marvel, I'm cleaning up on.
Okay, sure.
Because I will secede. I had the worst draft. I also was in the worst draft position. But when Marvel comes around, y'all better hope if I get 2, you guys might be able to do as well as me. Maybe.
If I get my 3rd draft pick again, I'll be solid.
Just better hope I don't. You better hope I land in the middle again. I'm coming with heat.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at Zach right now because I know. You know how well I know this guy? I know that if we go to do this and he gets the middle and I get, like, say I get first and I take something first, he'll take something second. He knows with my 2nd or 3rd pick what I'm going to take, and he will take it as his 2nd pick just so I don't get it. And he knows what I'm talking about right now, and I might waste my 1st pick just to get it, just so he can't steal it from me. It won't happen, Zach. I will get it. I will fight.
I choose gamma radiation.
As a concept! I choose the concept of rage.
I choose multiple personality disorder.
All right, we're going to wrap up here. If you want more audio content, cross your fingers and pray that Pop Strikers release a new episode. Yeah, that's just that. If you want updates on the podcast, at Kaiju and Comics, absolutely everywhere. If you have inquiries for us, kaijuandcomics@gmail.com. If you want any more of me, why the hell would you? But if you did, at Capsack Young, everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
You can't find me anywhere, so
Fantastic.
All right. If you want to find me, it's at Bobby Williams Official on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You already know.
Sick.
That's all.
Okay. And with that being said, I believe we're done until next week.
We are.
Yeah, we'll be coming at you with some more of the content consumption. Another draft. We're doing Marvel next week.
We will be doing Marvel next week. All right.
They came through both at the same time. It was just.
I'm down. I'm ready for it. Until then,
I'm prepared.
I'm so down for Marvel next week.
Yeah.
You're going down.
I'm going to win. I don't care.
You're going down.
What anybody says, I'm going to win. So
You're going down.
it won't be close. Whatever you want to say, Bob, it's not going to be close.
If we were to fight,
it won't.
No. If we were to fight, like with the DC picks, I won.
I have shark repellent. Fuckhead. But you know what? Nanawe, he's getting these hands. Shark repellent, I win.
with that being said, I've been your Captain Comics.
I've been your Kaiju commander.
I've been the tacky.
And we're out of here.
So who wants bonus content? Don't
What's
stop
bonus
recording.
content?
Don't. So I went bowling with insert girl name here, and I had told her that I do a podcast, and I was just talking about it, but like I didn't tell her what it was.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna find it, and you're not," and I'm gonna spray it. I'm like, "All right, whatever." I was like, "You're not, but it's fine." We go bowling. She puts her name in. You know, you put your names right before, and then she just puts KC, and I'm like, KC. I'm trying to think of like, why is this relevant? I was like, I don't know anything about her.
There's 2 ways that could be relevant.
I was just saying, I'm like, KC. I'm like, Kentucky Chicken? Like, all I can think is, like, KFC. And she looks at me, she's like, so how's your podcast doing? And I was like, that looks serial killer-y, bro. I wasn't ready for that. She's like, I listened to an episode. I was like,
Girls
I started sweating.
They're so scary.
She told me she went to my Instagram, found you,
Oh,
and she said it took maybe 5 minutes, and she found everything.
That's a good social.
I was thinking literally the day before she did it, I'm like, if she wanted to find it, she could just go on my Instagram, find Zach, and then it's over.
I forget that you do technically have an Instagram that's connected to me.
Yeah, it's definitely something. But yeah, that low key was terrifying. So I'm like, I will never cheat.
Did the KC mean
Kaiju and Comics,
or did it mean Kaiju Commander?
Kaiju. I didn't even ask. Maybe she. I don't know. Oh my god, maybe she did. Oh. If it stood for Kaiju Commander, that's actually like,
you need to.
that's actually hella cute. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. And cut.